Have you only had bread and water to the point where your stomach was boiling over? Yeah, I've been there. Have you ever sat in your car with just a little bit of gas and you were struggling between the heat and putting on your AC? Yeah, I've been there. Have you ever wondered if you was going to go buy you something to smoke on, like a cigarette, to pass the time? Or were you going to go buy you something to eat because you were hungry? It's either hunger or stress. Yeah, I've been there. Growing up in the streets of Memphis, Tennessee, in the neighborhoods that probably a lot of people were scared to go in. I had to learn a whole lot, and I suffered a whole lot, and it got me where I am today. Hell, I feel like a soldier. I really do. It was always a goal of mine to join the military, but life pushed me in a different direction. I'll tell y'all about that another day. But things stopped me, and it was out of my control. But at the same time, I brought those things on myself. I mean, we definitely have to take accountability for what we doing. We can always try to push the blame on other people and say, they didn't do me right. But did you stick around? What did you do when you saw that it was not doing you right? Did you stick around? Did you try to make it work? Yeah, you probably did, and so did I. Because if you're not a quitter, well, you don't want to quit, and you want to keep on going. But when do you have to cut your losses? If they're carrying about like they don't give a damn, believe me, most likely they don't. Stop right there. Stop right there. Put that love back into yourself, because you got to understand the love that you have is unique. It's not meant for everybody. If you're listening to me, most likely you are a chosen one. You are the ones who will be needed in this new world that these elites are fashioning. The people who are supposed to be against fascism are the fascists. You surely is a whole lot more greater than they give you credit for. You're a whole lot more greater than you give yourself credit for. You're still alive and you're pushing through. You got through this whole pandemic all this time. Look at you, being hard on yourself all the time. I had a good friend of mine say, man, you're going through a lot. You're going to have to be easy on yourself. Wow. For me, that was deep, because I was so far away from being easy on myself. I was so hard on myself. I was telling myself, oh man, you should have been there for your mama more before she died. Oh man, you should have sacrificed this and that, get out that nursing home a little bit faster. All the time that would have shot myself in the foot, and I know my mama would not wanted me to be anything less than I am today, because she was proud of who I am today. I know that. And well, we got to be strong, guys. And the channel has been banned more than once just recently. I just got back off of a strike because I felt like it was my duty to bring people an alternative to what the mainstream media continuously chooses to feed us all the time. I mean, really, man, they put a muzzle on you. They got you in a small little feed line like your cattle, locked up in a box. Don't you realize that this is a prison planet? Don't you see the invisible walls traveling at the speed of light, surrounding you, looking like a real dimension, looking like a real planet? Man, this is all a simulation. Some of us on higher levels in this simulation than others. Case in point, you got people who understand that, well, from their understanding that the mainstream media, such as CNN, for instance, they're telling the truth and all, and everything that they say is the gospel. That's one level of understanding. Then you got other people who reach out to alternative sources of media, such as myself, and they use critical thinking. They analyze the source in which the information is coming from, and then they try to, after analyzation, bring what they feel like is the truth to the people that has the power to do something about it. And you do have the power to do something about it. If you are in the range of my voice right now, you are, as Alex Jones would say, the resistance. A lot of people may say, man, Alex Jones, he's just out there, man. He's crazy, but it ain't about who's crazy anymore. Man, we got people out here dying, and it's being covered up. And y'all know why. Because if you're listening to my channel, more than likely you are already awake. And that's why I was in your feed line in the first place. So please share this message, because if you go back and look at a lot of my shows, I'm trying my best to wake people up in small little spoonfuls. I put a whole lot of subliminal messages in a lot of my other shows. I try to wake people up subconsciously. I'm very awake. And I understand that in order to be on this battlefield that we own, psyops are everywhere. That's psychological operations. And when you understand that, then you can use the same tools that the enemy is using to put people to sleep to try to wake them up. So I use subliminal messages because honestly, my whole life, I've always believed in symbolism because symbols, they actually convey a message much quicker than words. And I've always seen, like, to me, words were always slow. You always have to make sure that your pronunciation is just right in order for people to understand you and appreciate what you got to say. If you don't talk in a certain diction, if you don't have a certain style to your voice, then people may not be so apt to listen. If your parents were like mine, then you probably remember when they told you, this whooping that I'm going to give you is going to hurt me a whole lot more than it's going to hurt you. And you was like, what? Ain't no way in the hell you hitting me with the belt, and I know how much that hurts. It's going to hurt you more than me. Ain't no way. But I guarantee you something. When you become the parent, when you become the grown-up, when you become the disciplinarian, when you become the administrator of the pain that you have to deliver down on the people that's supposed to be in your circle, then you know what? You can understand what your mama and your daddy was telling you. This is going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you. I just got to say, it's just so important to appreciate what you have. I'm not just talking about material things. Your health is so important. Your mindset is so important. It's so important to feed your mind, not the things that everybody else understand, but the things that everybody else don't want to take the time to understand. Esoteric knowledge will save your life in the future. Having a prediction of what's to come will save your life in the future. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a slave. Well, be as free as you can. Remember, I love you, and I bring this message to you because I give a damn about humanity. I was put on this earth to bring you this message. Everything that I do to get to this point, to be able to bring you this message, is just what I got to do. Dreams are financed by those willing to put in the sweat. RTSTM.